Hello everyone, welcome to the Valley News Now desk for your Friday. Duke Schindler here joining you for some sports overtime, wrapping up what we saw kind of this week and just the last couple days when it comes to area sports. And there's no doubt about it on where we are starting with this one. It's going to be the Summit League tournament. We are past the first couple rounds of this basketball tournament, both women's and men's grabbing a bye and those #1 seeds, but both in action last night at the Pentagon. Starting with the women's, we'll pull up the graphic here. Take a peek at, where is that? Right there. What a dominating performance from the North Dakota girls. You see it right there. A 50-point win to move on for your Bison, and that defense was nothing but locked down. Omaha never sniffed a 12-point quarter and scored less than 10 points in both the second and third. Now, a little bit of a scare as Avery Conan did go down with an injury early, but she was going to let that affect her during tournament time. Now, she got right back up and coming back to the game, ending up with another 20-point game, ending with 23-7 boards and 2 blocks, which also makes it her 13th 20-plus point game on the season for her. But how about Marissa Frost as well? 11 of 13 from the field, 4 of 5 from distance. That can easily win you a game, especially during tournament time. 28 massive points coming from her as the Bison now cruise to the quarterfinals. And awaiting them is St. Thomas, who just defeated Oral Roberts. Now, they're going to face the winner, or I should say NDSU is going to face off against St. Thomas this Saturday at noon, but that's not the only thing we got going on here. Let's head over to the men's side of things as they moved on as well. The first matchup of the tournament coming against Oral Roberts, I should say, but this one just a little bit tighter of a game. NDSU, they did jump out to a 10-point early lead at half, but this one took some serious grinding to get the job done. The Bison struggling from the field, about 40% from the field and 30% from deep. So it took some serious work in the paint to get themselves some extra opportunities. Well, enter stage left, the offensive rebound. 16 for the Bison with four guys grabbing 3 offensive boards. Now that extra grind helped fuel Damari Wheeler-Thomas's 18-point performance on 4 of 6 from deep. Then it was Travian Carson with 17 of his own and 3 steals. However, the Golden Eagles were never able to close that gap. The Bison are moving on. So what's coming up next? They got the winner of #4 South Dakota and #5 Omaha. That game is going to be played tonight at 6 p.m. Then the winner of that will face the Bison Saturday at 7 p.m. Folks, it is tournament time, and we are having nothing but a great time here. But we are not done with basketball quite yet here. We're going to head over the semifinals of the Girls State Basketball Tournament in Minot. Now, AA starts next weekend, but we got Division B and A going on right now with a few teams still in it as we approach these finals. We'll start with Division B here, as it's a battle of a couple 2-loss teams. The #2 seed Benson County versus Lemoore Litchfield Marion. Now the Lobos coming in after a close 43-37 win versus Washburn. And the game happening right now as the game between Benson County and, I should say, Lemoore Litchfield, that is happening right now as the winner moves on to the final and faces either Central McLean or Lewis and Clark Berthold. Over to Division A now, a battle between the 2 and 3 seeds for a spot in the finals. Thompson versus Valley City, as the Tommies having a grinder of a game in that first round, knocking off Rugby, but only by a smidge. 39-26 for them. Then a very different story for Valley City, who took their first round matchup, Devil's Lake, to the absolute cleaners. 20-point victory for them. Thompson, Valley City, they're taking the court at 6:30 tonight. Then at the bottom of the bracket for the other final spot, it's #4 Kindred. They got the #1 seeded South Prairie Max. Now the Vikings barely sneaking by Hazen in their first round matchup with a 2-point victory. On the other hand, the Royals put on an absolute show versus Watford City. They threw up a 50-point dub to move on to the semifinals. Tip-off happening around 8:15, and the finals will be tomorrow at 5. And we'll bring it back here because we are not done with basketball yet. And in the wise words of many infomercial spokespeople, wait, there's more. Yes, let's head to the NBA because the Wolves are on a heater, currently on a 5-game win streak and also winning 8 of their last 9. They had a tough matchup versus a solid 5-seeded Toronto Raptors team, and the last time these two matched up was early February, just over a month ago, a 128-126 win for the Wolves. Let's get your highlights cooking here because we had nothing but a good one. There is Anthony Edwards, the man who does it all for this Timberwolves team. What? They're down 6 early. Well, here's Edwards once again. The step back, absolutely killer from the shooting guard that's leading the entire NBA for most threes by a man by the age of 25, I believe it was. There's Julius Randle heading to the rack there. He had 17 points on 5 of 11 from the field. Need him to heat up just a little bit more for this team to really put something on and be a threat. But oh my heavens, did you just see that? Yes, sir, that kid that says it all. This is Anthony Edwards. Let me pause this and give you a freeze frame on what we're looking at here. RJ Barrett, I am so sorry, brother. Do not get in front of that man. Anthony Edwards, straight to the rack, 2 hands for safety and flushing it. Look at that intensity. I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. And this continues for a little bit. Edwards kind of screaming at RJ Barrett. But we'll keep moving on to the third here. 4 minutes remaining. Rudy Gobert kicking it out to Naz Reid. Splash now. Naz Reid with 12 on the game. 1 of 5 from 3. That was his only 3 that he made here in the game. But he's all smiles right there. You can see it on his face. And the bench loving every second of it. Loving that Rudy pass. Now here's Julius Randle getting it off to Rudy with a little tip pass. I don't even know what that is. You can tell these guys are having fun out there. Anthony Edwards hitting the shot, and he is all smiles. Still, plenty of game left, but that did not matter as the Wolves would cruise on to the final as they take the dub, 115-107. How about that? You love to see Ayo Dosunmu, too. Great game from him. Team best, plus 25 when he was on the floor, making an impact as soon as he really got on this Wolves squad. 13 points for him, a rebound, assist, 3 steals, and a block. Golly. Great basketball from the new addition here on the Timberwolves. But enough basketball talk. There's still some hockey to get around here from the area as we start to wrap up winter sports season as UND, they're hitting the ice for the Frozen Faceoff. Round 1, they're going to host Omaha, Nebraska, who they swept during their season series. Bring up the graphic here. North Dakota outscoring Omaha 18-5 in this season series. That's 4 games, so do the math yourself. I'm not going to do it myself. UND, though, spreading the love, 10 different goal scorers during that season series. And Mr. Stryden, 4 goals, dominating Omaha this season. I'm sure they'll be seeing ghosts once Stryden takes the ice once again. But we'll take a look at when this game is going to be happening, as it's going to be a 3-game series between UND and Omaha. They're going to hit the ice tonight, actually, for Game 1 here of the best of 3 tonight at 6 p.m. Well, that's going to wrap up this Friday's edition of Sports Overtime. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Make sure you got the VNN News app downloaded on your smartphone, mobile device. And if you got the TV, the smart one, that's like right behind me here, the VNN app right there for you too. Never miss a Sports Overtime if you got the Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV. You can always catch what we're doing here on the desk on Valley News Now. But thank you guys very much for joining us here today. It's been a pleasure. For Duke Schindler, we'll see you at 4.